Good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning. I realized after uploading last time that I shared some of my thoughts and experiences with travel, with opening my mind and extended travel, but I didn't touch on some key points about the conditioning that many of us have been led to believe, how hard, how big of a deal, how challenging it is to experience this travel. And so I just want to share a few insights and takeaways that I've had over these years, because I felt the same way. For the majority of my adult life, I had never been outside of the United States and Canada. And then I had a visit in Costa Rica, and then Thailand, and then besides the military, I went for a good, I don't remember, 8 years or so before taking another international trip on my own. Now, I don't know how it is in other countries so well, but in the United States, for whatever reason, many of us are led to believe that it is really a big deal to travel to another country. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of planning, maybe a lot of stress. It's going to be expensive, and it's something that we are only able to do once every few years, most likely. And I found that that's absolutely not the case whatsoever. So to start from the ground up, first, to get to wherever we're going, clearly outside of the US, Canada and Mexico are right next to us, and they are not expensive to get to. And as exotic or interesting as it can seem to come to a country like India or Thailand or South America somewhere, or Africa, the amount of incredible different cultural experience that we can have in a culture that seems so similar, like Canada or the UK or something like that, it's not to be underestimated whatsoever. Living in any culture, experiencing how any culture does things differently, is super eye-opening. And I went to Toronto last year, and I had some awesome revelations, because in many ways the Canadians seem so similar to Americans, and we have created this story about who they are because they're right next door to us, though most of us don't have experience with them. And then I was there, and I had some really nice experiences of, wow, okay, so much of life from the outside seems to be the same way, but look at how they interact as a culture, and look how they treat me, and look how they respond when I ask for assistance or things like that. Okay, this helps me. But beyond traveling to a location that's right next door, the flights can often be one of the most daunting parts for many people, because it seems like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to spend these thousands of dollars or something. Well, one, it's not thousands of dollars to travel to other places, and if you're being told that it is, or you're finding it, then maybe put in a little more effort and maybe put out a little bit further your timeline, and you can definitely find trips to South America, round-trip tickets to South America, to Europe, for $700. So that's a lot less than several thousand. That's still a nice chunk of change. However, it's very easy, and I have done many times. I have saved probably at least $5,000-ish by getting credit cards that give bonuses of airline miles. So that will generally be, you receive 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, sometimes 70,000 bonus airline miles if you spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in 3 months. Now, first and foremost, of course, this does not make financial sense if we're getting a new credit card, putting money on it, purchases on it, and not paying it off, and we actually wind up spending a bunch of money on interest. That's not the intention here. I'm all about positive relationship with finances, not something like that where I'm actually going deeper into the hole. So as long as I'm paying this off, then I can have a free round-trip ticket to a location like India, where I can then have a life-transforming experience. And when I say life-transforming, a lot of us, and myself, think of big, heavy things of, oh my gosh, life-transforming. I had a child, that's very life-transforming, but it brought on a lot of responsibilities. Or I had some sort of serious health issue, and so it changed the way that I'm thinking and changed my values, but it was really challenging. Or I had a really challenging psychedelic experience, and afterwards I'm different, but man, it was a challenge. Well, life transforming can also just be you come and experience awesomeness or different or things like that. And so you've got the free ticket, and then you come to a country like India where you can stay for $3 a day. $3 a day you can stay in a hotel or in a cabana or something like that. So think about that. How much does your budget need to be if you're going to do a week or 2 weeks and the place that you're staying is $3 a day? And meals, if you're making them yourself, my Nepali friend and his family, wife, son, and friend, and 2 other gentlemen who are working for him because he's a tailor, that group, he would spend 3,000 or less rupees a month to buy all the groceries. So 3,000 rupees is equal to about $42. That was a month for 6 people. So clearly, if you're making food, you can do it quite affordably. If you're buying food here at restaurants and things, you can have, I have had great food. I have really great food for several dollars a meal, very easily. If you're willing to spend $15 a meal, you have the run of the place, you have the pick of the place. Then experiences, travel in the country. I'm going to take a train. I'm in Goa, India right now. I'm here visiting a Russian friend. I'm just took the train up here from where I was, and now I'm heading to the east. I'm going to go to Agra, which is where the Taj Mahal is, which I've been very interested in since I was a little child. And so I am taking a train from Goa, which is on the west coast, to Agra, which is basically the east coast across this subcontinent. And you can get a ticket for that for 750 rupees, which is about $10, something like that. A little bit more. So coming to a place like India, it's completely possible. Thailand, add a few dollars to those prices that I said, you know. So okay, great, we can go to those places, but Europe is out of our budget, or different places in South America are out of our budget. Not at all. If you search the most affordable places like Portugal, it's easy to live for a month, all told, your rent, your food, your going out and enjoying yourself, for less than $1,500 a month US. And I mean, like, that's less than most people think of a whole trip would cost going to anywhere, let alone to Europe, let alone going to a fantastic, culturally rich place like Portugal or Croatia, Spain, Italy. These places are all, Poland, very, very affordable. $1,500, $2,000 a month, not for a trip of most people's trip of 5 days or something like that. So We've got that going for us. Now, if we were to actually stack this even more, many of us have had or know people who have had health concerns, or who perhaps have eye issues, need glasses, need contact lens, would love PRK surgery like I purchased for myself 15 plus years ago. It was one of the best investments of my life. I did it in the United States. Other people, dentistry, cavity filling, anything like this, or more intense, such as cancer treatment and things. In Thailand, last year, I had 10 or 12 amalgam fillings in my mouth, the metal ones, which have mercury in them. Whether or not our Western dentists will admit that that has any sort of negative health impacts, and every other time where people and mercury interact with each other it does, but apparently not with amalgam fillings. But either way, I decided to have amalgam fillings replaced with the white ones, with white porcelain. And so in Thailand last year, I had 10 or 12 of these replaced so they took out the amalgams and they put in the new fillings. And that was a total of less than $300. I think it was around $250 total. That's as much as one filling would cost in the United States. And I got 10 or 12. So that's 1/10 the price, or 10x, whichever one you like. I like looking at the big. There's a dental, something that wear at night that expands the palate. It's a palate expander named HomeoBlock. And a benefit of this is that it slowly expands the palate, so there's fissures in between. I can't show you with both hands, but where the bones connect, and it slowly expands those, and so new bone growth grows in there, so it opens up the mouth a little bit, which opens up, especially for people like me who may have a little bit narrower jawline, narrower nostrils, makes it easier to breathe through the nose. Now there's dozens of benefits for breathing through the nose. We humans were created to breathe through the nose, not through the mouth. I won't go into that, but I'm a big fan of that. And this dental appliance will assist me with that. So I looked into it in the United States, and I actually have a friend who went that route in the United States. Now I shared this little story with him beforehand, and I'll share it with you. He wound up, what I said was, man, I think you could choose to get that done here in India. So with the amount of money that you would not be making at your job for taking several weeks or even a month off, add that amount of money in that you're losing, plus add in the amount of a flight if you buy a flight, plus add in the amount of money that you're costing you to stay here in India for several weeks or a month, plus add in the amount of money for the actual dental appliance and procedure, and I bet you it will cost at most the same as just the dental procedure in the United States, where you're still have the full month of going to work and you're not getting the incredible life transformation experience of being in another amazing culture like this, not to mention being able to just relax and disconnect and just being able to learn or think or anything like that. So I believe the amount that it cost for him total was around $4,500 for this dental appliance. I was fitted for it and I have it, and it cost me 30,000 rupees, which is equal to $420. $420 I'm spending. He's spending 4,500 for sure, and I'm getting the experience of being here. I mean, that other $4,000 in India is at least 3 months of living, if you're living nicely. You could stretch $4,000 in India. If you wanted to just live the local life, you could stretch $4,000 for a year probably. So these stories that we've been taught about how hard it is to visit other nations, how challenging it is, how expensive it is, how much effort it's going to take, they're not true. And I really encourage you to just start exploring on your own, just over weeks or months or whatever. Just look into things, make a little notebook and start taking notes. Where would I really love to go? Okay, let's just look into prices of things and what things offer, and then also look, is there anything that I can stack on that, anything where I can actually almost like make money. I had the PRK eye surgery, like I said, about 15 years ago. Yeah, 15. And so I have right around 20/20 vision. But I noticed a little bit at the very edges, man, actually not even. But I wanted to just, after this 93-day retreat of being in darkness, not using my eyes for so long, I was really curious, did anything happen with my eyes, positive or negative? So I went to an optometrist in Bangalore and had them check my eyes, and my eyes were the same as they have been. They did find that there was a small amount, if I'm using screens, working on the computer for many hours, then I could benefit from a tiny prescription. I say, yeah, let's do that, because I do use the computer a good amount of times when I'm working. And so for that, the eye checkup, the glasses, the lenses, I don't remember what it was, but it was around $30. And so if you have glasses, you have contacts, that sort of thing, you can just stack these on your trips. I have friends from the US who, one of them was diagnosed with a type of cancer, and they chose to go to South Africa for that cancer treatment. I don't remember the numbers completely, but I believe it wound up being around $25,000 that they spent for that, and he has been completely clean. And that same procedures in the US, again, would have cost around $250,000. They would have been bankrupt. They would have been living a life of debt. And this sort of thing, it's not like the Wild West out here. There's a term, medical tourism, which is used for this sort of thing sometimes. And it's been around now for decades, even though most people don't know about it. But there are world-renowned hospitals in Thailand. India is, I believe, number 3 nation. But all over, even in Europe, you can go for medical tourism, and you're still going to save a bundle of money than in certain other countries, such as the one that I'm from. And these are top-notch places. So that is what I have this also, just as a little intro. I'm just walking back from picking up some fruit, and so in this bag I have, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of fruit that most people, that I had never seen before doing travel. One is the lychee. It's a little delicious little ball of juice. First discovered these in Thailand with one of my best friends who's Thai, and we would ride around on a moped with these and a slingshot, and we'd shoot them. So I'd eat half and we'd shoot half. And we've got this, which is a passion fruit, and it has this delicious little juice seeds. It's like a combination of crunchy and tasty. I have the dragon fruit, which is actually very mild flavor for how it looks in the name. And we have one of my favorites, which is the custard apple. One second, let me crack this open. the custard apple. What does that name sound like? It sounds like delicious. So it's very soft. It's delicious. White meat pulp. So soft and custardy. And of course, all of these fruits nowadays, they all find, oh my gosh, it's the next best thing since manna. It has all these antioxidants and all these incredible things. And, you know, I mean, they're just a dime a dozen all over the place. One of my favorite things about being in other nations, or just in any nation, including the US, is enjoying the bounty which nature provides for free, full of all the things that we need. It tastes so incredible. I mean, experiencing the fruits and vegetables of different countries are just one of my favorite things. All right, y'all. Adios. Oh, and actually, I forgot to mention, so we talk about how affordable it is to travel. I had been feeling when COVID came in April or whatever, I was thinking, man, I think this is going to be a really special time for travel, really unique opportunity. Fast forward now to December, and absolutely, this is a once in a multi-lifetime opportunity for us to explore other nations. Right now, like I said, I'm in Goa, India, which historically I've not been here before, but I know many people who have or who are from here. And historically, this is a part of India where many spiritual seekers come, where many people coming to just backpack or relax, chill, expats, and also parties and music. And so from everyone that I know who's here right now, which is not that many, as you can see, this is what the beach looks like. And this is normally chock full of people. And similar to the other places that I've been mostly in small places, but several larger places that are normally with more tourists. And this, before I got to Goa, I had probably seen like 3 white people in 4.5, 5 months, including the 3 months I'm in darkness. Okay, but oh my God. There you go. What about that travel? And I think it's going to be the same. I would imagine it's very much the same in the rest of the world. I would imagine that we can go to Rome right now and see Michelangelo works, or we can go to the Eiffel Tower, or we can go to the Taj Mahal, we can go to Hagia Sophia, we can go to these incredible places that often have lots and lots of tourists. We can go to Venice and just chill on the canals, and we can go to Florence and see these fantastically mind-blowing cathedrals, and there's not going to be very many people. And the locals are very friendly, very appreciative, because just like everyone else, they are having some challenges. So we can assist people by bringing our finances, and we can enjoy what they're sharing with us. And often, like, totally unexpected things will arise. All right, peace out.